We built a hot fence to give our animals more pasture room to use. When we came down to feed in the morning, we found out Blackjack and Holler had limboed under the fence like they had something to prove. Dan touches the hot wire not once, but twice. And now we've got 5 wild burros watching it all happen from the sidelines. This one's part chaos, part pasture prep, and all behind the scenes. We've got over 20 acres, but only a fraction's been in use. The animals are playing more than they're grazing, so we've fenced off a new 2.5 acre electric pen. It's not just about the grass, it's about movement, stimulation, and setting up for what's coming next. Not every animal here is ready for our electric pen right away, especially when we bring home a wild donkey, a wild Mustang, or a rescue. These animals often come with a lot of fear and they need time. That's why we start them off in what's called a wild pen, a smaller, safer space where we can begin the process of gentling them and building trust. But once they're ready, giving them room to run, play, and just be a horse or a donkey again is so important. Next, we're preparing to let Corky, our most recent rescue, out into the pasture for the first time. Now look guys how much he is just loving the ability to run. He hasn't had the ability to run in over a year. And we've just had him for a short time, but he's doing really good with all the gentling process, haltering, leading. We're picking up his front feet, and they were super long. We just got him trimmed. So now we feel safe to let him out to run and play. We're introducing him to other stock one at a time. So first he plays with Stormy and then with Frank. Watching them thrive once they've made that transition is one of the most rewarding parts of this work. And then he gets to meet Honk the donk. That space to move freely is not just good for their physical health, it's vital for their mental well-being too. Subscribe if you want real training, real mess, and a few stubborn hooves. So today we're setting up the new electric pen, and no, it's not as simple as just sticking post and rolling out wire. We're using step-in post and heavy-duty hot wire. But before any of that works, the ground has to cooperate, which, spoiler alert, it doesn't.
Here we are doing more. Look. It's an actual video of Mary Jo working. It's called physical labor.
That was a big one. Oh, it's still there.
These badger holes are just enormous.
Leg breakers.
Yeah.
Before we bought this property, it was a playground for ground squirrels, and the badgers, they just wreak so much havoc with giant holes. So instead of just little holes from the ground squirrels, we have leg breaking holes that can take multiple buckets of dirt to fill them in. While Dan is going back and forth and getting more dirt, I am filling up the holes just with the step-in post so we can find them again. The grass is so tall that you can walk through and find them, and then afterwards you can't see where they were at. Now while all this is happening, keep watching because we have the first fence testers happening in the 2 acre while we're filling in holes. The only ones in our current crew who are familiar with hot wire is Stormy and Seamus doesn't get to be in that pasture. So before they get the new pasture privileges, they need to learn what Zapped means. We ran a single line inside the familiar 2 acre pen, especially where they like to eat grass through the fence or over the fence. Took maybe about 15 minutes. One touch, one snort, and suddenly the fence had their full attention. While we're out here getting everything set up, the animals, of course, decide to help. The fence isn't hot yet while we're working out there, so Holler and Doc casually walk through it. And Holler, she doesn't even duck. She just walks chest first right through the wire like, excuse me, y'all, forgot to turn this on. We've got a hot wire that's not hot. Animals testing the perimeter like escape artists, and we're trying to fix it with a whole crowd of supervisors. Honestly, it's just part of it. Fencing with animals is less of a job and more of a 3-ring circus. Seamus is the first one to help. There's Holler. She says, oh, I didn't realize you wanted that fence there. And everybody else is just like, what is happening? What is he doing? So now we're going to get this attached a little bit shorter with another fence post in there to help keep it intact. I'm glad that she didn't break it. Doc, he's like an expert at all of this. All so helpful. So we got this fixed up, and now we're going to go plug back in the fencer and see how this works. Then it's time to move around feeders. We used to have both of these tires in the wild pen, and now one of them is going to be the 2-acre one. Now we're going to start releasing acres. We're going to start releasing animals into the electric pasture. Now Stormy, he's been around electric fence lots of times in his life. Everybody else is just napping now, but we're going to let the horses in, Stormy, Frank, and Stein. Now Frank and Stein have just been introduced to the hot wire in the 2-acre pasture. So they're still learning, but there's so much grass here. They're not too excited to go run and play yet. They're just in awe. So this is the real test. Later on, we're going to let Blackjack in there and Holler because they could use a little bit of more meat on their bone. They are growing fast, more up than out, just like Stein there. Now the first night goes really well, but the next day when we come out, I noticed that we have donkeys that are in the pasture beyond the hot wire there. That's not where they're supposed to be. Keep watching as you see how we find a way to lure them back into the hot wire fence. Now Seamus doesn't get to go into this new electric fence because he doesn't need any extra grass at all, but Holler is going to be in there soon. But first we're going to let the horses eat it down. So Frankenstein are doing an amazing job just hanging out and eating. But pretty soon we're going to let Blackjack and Holler in there, and you're going to have to keep watching to see because they get out the following morning. They're not where they're supposed to be. Coming down for the morning feeding. Holler and I can't tell from here if that's Blackjack or Joker, but they're not where they're supposed to be. Keep watching, guys, to see Dan test the fence, the Zap. Now, Stormy, Frank, and Stein have been doing a great job out in the electric pasture. We decided to add to this electric pen Holler, Blackjack, and Joker. Now, I wasn't able to video the whole thing of catching them, but Holler came a little hesitant, but she came through, and Blackjack took a little bit more effort as he was a little bit more nervous being out there. Now, we should have started with 2 lines, guys. 2 lines would have been better, and we ended up by changing that. Okay.
It's fucking there. No. I got a shock when I first grabbed it.
But nothing now.
Rubber shoes, maybe? Jesus Christ.
Did you get a shock, honey?
Yeah, I did.
He took off his shoes to see if it would work better.
Yeah, that thing bites.
Joker doesn't think so. We got smart and added a second line of hot wire, keeping them all safe. This new pasture is not for everyone yet. Seamus, Atlas, the 5 new donkeys, they need to stay on hay where we can measure what they're getting, or they're not tame enough to go in there yet. Learning to be gentled. To do this, we have many different methods that we're using here. Chipmunk is just learning to follow the lead rope a little bit. And Eagle has found that he likes toys, and he is leading already and being haltered, of course. So he is pretty funny to watch. And then Squirrel just got brave enough to start eating from my hand. It took approximately 4 weeks. He's going at his own pace. Ox here, I played with him and Eagle both of leading them from which was pretty entertaining, and doesn't have a lot of forward movement, so
Can you turn off or Wally?
At least not when she's nervous, and she was pretty nervous to play with it. Once I brought out of the wild pen, she was totally fine with her forward movement. All of this takes time, guys. Remember, is a wild donkey also. And then here, This is Lynx, and oh my gosh, we're already starting on his legs. This is so much fun. Later on, they'll have more freedom, but so far they need to stay in the wild pen where we can keep their training on a very regular schedule. They need to learn to trust humans. Want to follow their journey? Check out our playlist, 5 Tales. It's all about them. If you're into fences that actually work, or watching animals figure things out, or just need a break from the internet chaos, you're in the right place. If you're interested in adopting one of these amazing animals, check out our website, famousseamusfarm.org. I have a list of available and rehomed animals. We have many playlists to help you along your own journey, or if you just enjoy watching. And if you found this video enjoyable, I sure appreciate it if you hit that like and subscribe button. When you like, share, comment, subscribe, all of that helps kick us up in the algorithm to help more people find us. Training wild burros, we're always setting everything up for growth. Whether it's the pasture or the animal, that's what we're doing here at Training Wild Burros and Famous Seamus Farm. Helping these animals love people and finding them amazing homes. Here at Famous Seamus Farm, we focus on training wild burros, mustangs, and rescues, helping them build trust, find peace, and get a second chance. If you love what we're doing here and want a closer look behind the scenes, I invite you to join the memberships for Training Wild Burros. It's a great way to support the work we're doing while also learning and growing in your own training journey. Whether you're working with your own animal or just curious about the process, we've built this to give you tools, encouragement, and an inside look at what it really takes to gentle these incredible animals. Come be part of the herd.